Named after the fifth highest mountain in the world, Makalu Barun is arguably the most remote of all of Nepal's Himalayan national parks. With rushing rivers originating from the high Himalayas, carving one of the deepest valleys in the world, it is the world's only protected area with an astonishing elevation gain of more than 8,000 meters. Unlike other popular trails where crowds can dilute the sense of discovery, the paths here attract those who seek solitude and challenge. Countless lakes on the way and surrounded by towering giants like Everest, Lhotse, and Kanchenjunga, it stands in the heart of the tallest point, not just in the eastern Himalayas, but on all of Earth.
Sweet, sweet, sweet. Oh my God. Yesterday I was like, where the hell? And now I know.
While it is much less often visited compared to regions like Everest or Annapurna, the people you meet here are experienced travelers and mountaineers who have come here in search of that extra sense of adventure and oneness with nature. Getting to these stunning sights is a challenging yet rewarding journey, starting at only 340 meters above sea level and ending at the foot of the 8,463 meter peak of Makalu. This extreme topographical range also brings along an extreme variety of landscapes and weather.
पानी अलिक कम भयो
From walking in the rain along ancient forests of the Barun Valley in one of the most biodiverse regions of the Himalayas, which is home to over 400 species of birds, its ancient forests turn into highlands of swirling white maize as blizzards sweep in without warning. To traversing massive landslides that are typical of the active nature of the Himalayan landscape.
यहाँ तलबाट गए पनि हुन्छ
We're gonna climb that mountain.
And crossing high mountain passes as glacial lakes appear one after another. Some partially frozen into swirls of ice. Crossing these high mountain passes means stepping into the Himalayan permafrost zone, where the ground remains frozen all year round. And the stark, icy silence is broken only by the crunch of your boots on ancient frost. At times, it is the hardest thing we've done. At others, it is amongst the most beautiful experiences we have shared together. And in this journey that demands mental endurance even more than the physical, we go along sharing icicles, golden raspberries, and wild strawberries plucked from the trails. And build a unique solidarity with those we come across. As the humans we meet on the way are as intriguing as the mountains we walk amongst. across the valleys and perched on precarious slopes. Small villages of Sherpas, Rai, and Limbu people live on these lands.
जिउको लागि नि कुचो गरे भने जिउले राम्रो हुँदैछ हो पुरा
The Sherpas here, distinct even from their kin in the nearby Everest region, carry a unique cultural identity.
One bounce. कति क्युट तिमी ओ माई गड हाँसिदिरा ल कति क्युट भनेको त हाँसिदिरा के उसको नाम
लाग्पा
लाग्पा लाग्पा हाई
तिम्रो चाहिँ के हो नाम?
मेरो जाङ्मु
जाङ्मु
Owing to the area's isolation, access to education still remains limited for children here, even compared to other rural regions of the country.
भाइ उसको दाइ भनेको
दिदी ओ माई गॉड भनेको चाहिँ के हो
हे भगवान
मान्छे मर्नु पनि सक्छ नमर्ने पनि
कति दिन लाग्नेछ अनि एक दुई दिन यतै वेट गरेर किन अगाडि घर बस्ने भनेको नि
अहिले टिचरहरु आउन
त सुनसान छ अहिले
ल बाइ बाइ
बाइ बाइ
Bye.
हामीलाई नबिर्सियो
Tashigao, the last permanent settlement on the trail to Makalu Base Camp at 2,100 meters, marks the beginning of the steep ascent into the higher Himalayan wilderness of Makalu Barun National Park. The highlands of the Barun Valley unfold like a dream, with its vast, windswept meadows framed by towering cliffs.
Finally found some yak. Nak. Female yaks. And a baby yak.
As you make your way up, the summer heat of the lowlands gives way to the chilly winds of the waterfall-ridden highlands.
So.
And finally, to the ice-cold breath of the great Himalayas. With ancient glaciers hanging among its peaks. After days of climbing, the final stretch to the base camp felt almost flat. This was the first time we've seen lodges at the base camp itself. So we spent 2 nights here at the small glacial valley with a 3.5 kilometer wall of the south face of Makalu standing right in front of us.
Eight thousand meters could be the base camp right there.
As the valley of stone and sand filled up with snow outside, we enjoyed a hot bowl of delicious Sherpa stew.
अहिलेसम्म हिउँ परिरहेको रहेछ है आउला जस्तो छैन
With the climbing season in full swing, mountaineers like this group of 5 Sherpa siblings were arriving at the base camp to summit the world's 5th highest mountain.
Look how pointy it is. It's in a turn.
So how does one even get to a place like this? Spanning roughly 100 miles of hiking and an additional flight and drive to get there, it took us exactly a week to reach here from Kathmandu. The bustle of Nepal's capital was a far cry from where we were headed. With the start of summer right ahead of us, we flew closer to the sea level to Tumlingtar Airport at 460 meters. And the heat here was a precursor of the other end of extreme weather we were about to experience in just a few days. Right outside the airport, we got a vehicle headed to Noom, which was typically the starting point of the trek until just a few years back. We stopped on the way at the old center of Khadbari, which is the headquarters and biggest town in the district of Songkhla-Sabha. With the advancement of the road right into the buffer zone of the national park, we took another 3-hour ride through hail and rainstorm to Seduwa. Seduwa is also the entry point into the national park.
कहाँ बस्नुहुने आज
यता के छ माथि
यो मुनि भन्छ माथिल्लोमा त प्याक यस्तै छ गिजिगिजी यहाँ माथिल्लोमा चाहिँ ठिक छ
And this is the survival kit. कति मजाले कोरेको रहेछ
After a full day of travel by air and road, we were finally ready to begin our 10-day trek to the base camp of the 4th mountain we have been to among the 5 highest peaks in the world. Our first day of walking was also the last time we stopped at a true village along the route.
Well, go river. I think that's how you mean.
This is unlike most treks in Nepal, where traditional settlements continue higher into the mountains. Between here and Tashigao lie a handful of small settlements, Chaksedara, Khongma, and Narbugao.
खोइ त नमस्ते गरेको
And after a few hours through rhododendron forests and river crossings, we arrived at Tashigao.
रोडै रोड जाँदा पनि भयो मुनि बाटो मुनि त्यो मानेबाट जाँदा पनि हुन्छ तर रोडको बाटो चाहिँ अलिकति हिलो छ कि
विचार गर्नु है आज कहाँसम्म जानुहुन्छ
At 2,100 meters, this is the last permanent settlement on the trail. Tashigao, which means village of auspiciousness in Tibetan, is a Sherpa village that serves as the final gateway to the high Himalayas, with around 80 households. People here depend almost entirely on subsistence farming. Rice, millet, maize and potatoes are grown in small fields, while livestock graze on narrow ledges. Life here is simple.
Seduwa. Kathmandu. Base camp सम्म महँगो छ रे
Namaste.
The village has a small school and a few basic tea houses that serve as resting point for trekkers. And the people here welcome strangers like family. Tashigao is more than just a stop on the trail. It is a threshold. Beyond it, the trail climbs relentlessly into a world of icy ridges and dense forests. It is where the comforts of village life end and the true wilderness begins.
ताल पनि भयो त्यो प्यारासुट भन्नेमा उड्छ नि त्यसमा चाहिँ मलाई चाहिँ डर लाग्यो
चढ्न नि
त्यहाँ यहाँ डोरी बाँधेर जम्प लाग्छ नि त्यो डरै लाग्छ
के हो त्यो
यो चिया शरबत चिया
त्यो उ चाहिँ कोदो र के खाएको तिमीले
यो शरबत झुली हामीले बेसको कति
खुकुरी
यार जामे याला देजिङ सेते खालको कुर्म होला आफै खालको त्यो काम नै खालको गुस जे
यो हात साथीहरुको लागि यो हात दुश्मनहरुको लागि फलाम
गइले त यसो पनि गर्छ
Leaving behind the last signs of village life at Tashigaon, we began our steep ascent into the wild heart of Makalu Barun.
I feel so much lighter
With countless stairs to climb, this section is a test of endurance. From 2100 meters, we would be gaining nearly 1400 meters of elevation in a single day as we make our way to Khongma, a ridge camp perched high above the valley.
It's quite a steep climb.
Never ending steep.
You guys going to base camp? Yeah. Nice. How about you guys?
At least base camp, and I'm hoping to do Sherpani Col, West Col.
Ah, okay. It's just the two of you?
My dad is ahead of us.
Ah, okay.
He started 2 days before.
Alright.
And we're going to catch him today.
Nice.
Namaste.
Namaste.
You guys stay in Tashigaon last night?
Yeah.
We were in Seduwa.
You came from Seduwa today?
Yes.
Oh my god.
Khongma down there tonight.
Okay.
Us too.
Yeah.
Nice. Enjoying it so far?
Yeah. How about you guys?
It's really nice.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
It's getting better as we go up.
The trail climbs relentlessly through thick rhododendron and fir forests, while the air grows thinner and cooler with every step. In spring, the rhododendrons explode in pink and crimson.
Visibility equals to 0. Misty.
भनेको कसले मन पर्दैन त्यस्तो भन्ने मान्छे त हामी कसले मन पर्दैन आमा भुलिरहेछ भनेको चाहिँ अलिक मन पर्दैन बोकमा अलिअलि लगाऊ लसुन हुन्छ यो लोकल हो कि
लोकल त झन् लगाऊ ल भयो मेरो मिङमा लमो शेर्पा
Because?
Because I was born on Tuesday. Mingma, three Mingma here.
हैन
यो चाहिँ मेरो चाहिँ शिव भ्यू भनेर
हस् ल ए त्यसले अहिले पानी पर्यो भने
सबभन्दा अगाडि चाहिने नि त्यो है
After spending the night at Khongma Dara, we started the next leg of the trek. A dramatic crossing of an iconic pass, the Shipton La.
How many on the ship? 15. 14. One is staying down because it's 80 years old. And the cask is going philosophy. 100 steps, the rest. 100 steps, the rest. Yeah, but it's 80 years old. He was also on Makalu that time.
We're about to do the mountain pass. What are you doing? That one right there. I can see the house where we're gonna have lunch.
कहाँ पुगेर आउनुभयो ए हस् सकिन्छ ल बाई धन्यवाद बाटोमा फेरि भेट हुन्छ
The Shipton La is named after legendary British explorer Eric Shipton, who used this route during his early Everest expeditions. Crossing the pass at 4,200 meters is like walking through the clouds, literally and figuratively. One moment you're in sunlight, the next you're engulfed in mist. And then suddenly the clouds part, revealing jagged black peaks and endless layers of ridgeline stretching all the way into Tibet. You feel like you've entered another planet. At these altitudes, the forest disappears and the landscape is reduced to lichen-covered rocks and snow.
हाम्रै खोजीमा फोन गर्दै हुनुहुन्थ्यो क्या
होइन त्यही त नानीले खाना भनेको थियो कि
हजुर
हजुर
होइन अनि आइपुग्नु न त कि फर्किनु भयो खाना भनेर नि फोन गरेको ठ्याक्कै आइलामो रहेछ अनि कुरा गर्दा त ठिकै आइपुग्नु हो पानी पिउँ है
हजुर पानी दिनु पानी सिक्यो बोतलको भने
दिदी एक्लै हो तपाईँ यहाँ
हजुर म एक्लै छु भाइ
धन्यवाद
आहे लड्दै पढ्दै आहे आएका हामी
As we descended from Shipton La, we saw Kalo Pokhari, or the Black Lake, said to be sacred by locals. Even in summer, it retains patches of ice. From here, we began the long and cautious descent to Dobate, where we would finally rest after one of the toughest but most spectacular days of the entire journey. Dobate is a tiny outpost, just one lodge tucked beside a steep hillside, dwarfed by the surrounding cliffs.
Last time I was
Yo, dedicated to X, YZ, something is
एक काँटा मात्रै रहेछ
सुरुमा त जिउमा काटेर यस्तो मिल्दै नलागे
नमस्ते तपाईहरुलाई मेरो नाम सोनाम टासी शेर्पा अहिले चाहिँ म होटल दोबाटोको सञ्चालक हजुर यहाँको ओनर हो अनि यहाँ हाम्रो 3862 यो मकालु बरुन नेशनल पार्कमा अवस्थित छ हजुर अब यहाँबाट एक दिन विदेशी याङ्ले खर्का भन्ने ठाउँ आउँछ त्यसपछि चाहिँ उता त्यसपछि शिवधारा माथि त्यहाँबाट चढ्न जाने हो अब आज तपाईहरुलाई 1 घण्टा जस्तो अब यहाँबाट ओह्रालो जानुपर्छ अनि त्यसपछि अलिकति उता तेर्सो हिँडेपछि फेरि पहिरो आइन्छ पहिरोमा 1 घण्टा 2 घण्टा जस्तो लाग्छ तपाईहरुलाई त्यसपछि फेमाथाङ भन्ने ठाउँ आउँछ त्यहाँ लन्च गर्ने ठाउँ त्यसपछि 1 घण्टा हिँडेपछि याङ्ले खर्का निस्किन्छ होटल चाहिँ यो निकै सबसे पुरानो यो क्षेत्रमा चाहिँ पहिला सबैभन्दा पुरानो गोठदेखि स्टार्टिङ भएर आएको हो यो मकालु त्यो रुट चल्न थाले त धेरै वर्ष भइसक्यो तर आन्तरिक पर्यटक नेपालीहरूको लागि चाहिँ भर्खर शिवधारा चलेपछि अलि बढाएको छ है। अनि यहाँ चाहिँ अहिले हाम्रो होटल दोबाटो हो। दोबाटो भन्ने ठाउँमा एउटै मात्रै हाम्रै होटल छ। अनि हाम्रो चाहिँ यो ब्रान्च एउटा मकालु बरुन होटलको ब्रान्च नै हो। तल सेदुवादेखि नै याङ्ले खर्कासम्म चाहिँ हाम्रो एउटै फ्यामिली रिलेटिभ्सकै ब्रान्च नै छ होटल मकालु बरुन नै।
From Dobate, the trail begins to drop steeply again. But this never-ending descent is unlike any we've done before. We are now entering one of the most dangerous and unpredictable sections of the trek, a 2-hour crossing of a giant landslide. This part of the Makalu Trail is infamous. Not because it's technical, but because the land here is alive. The mountain constantly shifts under your feet. Entire cliff sides have broken away and now form massive scars, barren, loose, and unstable.
बिस्केम पुगेर आउनु भयो ए आज कहाँसम्म
आज तल ठुल्काडा ए के खङमा
ए खङ हस् धन्यवाद दाइ
After carefully making our way across the landslide zone, the trail finally steadies.
ए बेलुकातिर चाहिँ खोला बढ्छ
खोला बढ्छ किनभने अब म त ठिक्क भिला अब एकछिनमा त धुमिलो पानी झुमझुम आउँछ त्यति पानीमा खुट्टा हालेर आउनु पर्ने छ अब अहिले तपाईहरु आउँदा अहिले ठिक्क अहिले सानै छ यहाँ भोलिबाट त ठुलो आउँछ पानी
Welcome to Phematang at 3,483 meters. Yangle Kharka is 1.5 hours away. Thank God.
After lunch at the single house at Phematang, we continued walking through rhododendron forests with the rain coming on and off as we reached Yangle with our new dog friend.
ल जाउँ अब जाउँ कुदेर जाउँ त ए ल जाउँ बाई बाई अब जाउँ
घाट परिसक्यो यी खेलेर बसेर हुन्छ
The next morning, we woke up to a world transformed. It had snowed through the night, quietly and steadily, and by morning, the entire landscape around Yangle Kharka lay under a soft white hush. Just as the skies began to clear, a rescue helicopter broke through the quiet. By the time we left Yangle, the snow had already melted, giving way to the muddy earth beneath. We continued our journey through a terrain that felt ancient, almost sacred. The path wound past the point where the trail diverges towards Shivadhara, a revered pilgrimage site, hidden deep in the cliffs beyond the river, where it is believed that the Hindu god of destruction and transformation, Shiva, once meditated. We stayed on course toward Langmale. Rain came and went, and just when we thought it was done, it would start again.
ये इसमै त छ मजा विन्ध्यवासिनीमा ट्रेडर्स प्रालीको पनि विज्ञापन गरिदिउँ न त यसो
And as we gained elevation, the rain turned into flurries of snow.
Wild side? Himalayas. Ice. We made it, baby.
Well, then that's gonna be that's so
यहाँ देखिन्छ
खानु पर्दो रहेछ भन्ने थाहा हुन्छ
I'm really thinking about doing the hot water bottle move. Not every day.
You'd be spectrum pandas now that we do something that much.
Not yet.
It's
funnier. I'm telling you.
The Langmale Kharka that we had reached the previous evening, covered in mist and clouds, was now surrounded by massive peaks in the morning.
Oh, you're there.
We going to Makalu Base Camp at 5,000 something meters.
On the final day of walking towards base camp, the trail gradually rises and falls through a barren alpine landscape, strewn with glacial boulders and frost-bitten grass. Not long into the walk, the path brings us to the edge of a still, glacial-fed lake, Shershong Lake. It lies quietly off to the left of the trail. Beyond the lake, the trail follows the Barun River, which courses through the valley.
कस्तो फ्ल्याट बाटो आयो कति मजाले यहाँ ढुङ्गाहरू बिछाइदिएर हामीलाई बाटो देखाइदिनु हुन्छ अनि यहाँ वाइल्ड छ भ्यू चारैतिर
The landscape then opens dramatically. A broad glacial plain carved over millennia by retreating ice.
के छ के छ
As we make our final push and move deeper into the valley, a silence begins to settle in.
This is wild. That is wild. That is wild. Everything's wild.
There is no tree line here, only stone, wind, and sky. And finally, after several hours of walking, Makalu Base Camp comes into view. And then came morning. And there it was. Makalu rising like a frozen cathedral, towering at 8,485 meters. It stood just beyond reach, yet impossibly close. All around us, named and unnamed peaks. Some of the highest mountains in the world, and for a moment it felt like it belonged only to us.
Distance 7.3 kilometers.
At the base of Makalu, there is a still turquoise lake formed by glacial melt, sitting in stark contrast to the jagged peaks surrounding it. It feels like a mirror laid at the feet of the gods. The landscape here at Makalu Base Camp is raw and humbling. A wide open glacial valley carved by time and the forces of nature.
यो मेरो है हजुर यो धन्यवाद हिजोको खर्साङ देव नानी सिना काटेर
आज वेदरले च्यालेन्ज गरेछ.
On the other side are magnificent views of other peaks as we followed the path of the river all the way to the end of the valley. Located at 4,870 meters, the camp is a scattering of 3 lodges surrounded by a natural amphitheater of peaks.
Welcome to the sand beach of Makalu Base Camp, where gobar, yakko gobar is everywhere. And that is the fuel. And that is Makalu 8K mountain.
The trip to Makalu Base Camp isn't just a trek. It was a reminder that the greatest journeys aren't always the most glamorous. They're the ones that push you and quietly change you. And somehow, that was exactly what we needed.